Yo, what is going on everyone? Welcome back for another video. Today I want to show you the evolution of my WARBRINGER build in PvP. I changed a few things. I'm working on the resistances and stuff like that right now, so I have more ignore counter, more ignore combo, and this is a kind of versatile build. It's useless against the tanks, but that time it is to survive DPS players, right? So I'm gonna show you the efficiency directly, and then we are gonna see what stats I have and what I decided to focus for my build, alright? So without further ado, let's go in PvP here and let's try to find other players. But for now, first of all, I need to defeat some others, so I'm getting higher in the ranking and I can find the other players. Alright, he has way less power than me. We have that player, but he is insanely strong in comparison with me. If you check, like, yeah, he has way more power. He has way more stats here. Look at that, 3,325 billion HP. This is way more than me. I have only 2,600 billion. That's 700 billion more. Insane. I have a 28,000 million attack. He has a 34,000 million. So 6,000 more, and for the defense he has 2,400 more, so this is insane. He has a bit more attack speed. This is probably to prevent the mages to nuke him directly at the start of the battle. In terms of crit rate, he is a bit above me. He's focusing that to avoid the players who have a lot of ignore crits, right? I understand, I was doing that before, but I decided to lower a bit my crit rate and my counter strike to focus all the stats. If you check my ignore combo, I have 79%. 79%, guys. This is insanely strong. Very, very powerful. But he has an insane amount of counter strike, guys. 150% almost. I have a 73% ignore counter, so it is like he had 70% counter strike when you retrieve that amount. That is insane. So I can't beat that player, but this is interesting to see the difference in power between the two, because they have way less power. We're going to see that in battle. Evasion, ignore evasion, we have almost the same. In terms of resistances, unfortunately I don't have a lot of resistances. Look at that, damage res for the combo 40%. For the counter I have even less, 36%, because my highest one is the PAL damage res. They are my nemesis. I need to improve that in priority to try to beat the PAL classes. They beat me more than the others, and I need to work on the skill damage resistance as well. I have only 35%. In terms of counter damage res, he has 12%? I don't know. The stat all broken. Yeah, he has 12%, so he has nothing. That is very interesting, guys. Damage res, we have the same. Pierce, I have 3,200. But he has 3,000 ignore pierce, so it is like I had nothing. He has 4,300 pierce. I'm ignoring only half his pierce. And we have the same amount of block. But I have a bit more ignore block. So I'm ignoring all his block, in fact. So whatever. Enough talk. Let's see how it works. Let's see if I have the right build. WARBRINGER versus DPS. There we go. I don't know if I accelerated the timer, though. I hope I didn't. No, it's alright, but it's gonna go very fast, so don't blink, guys. Look at the damage we are both taking. First, health bar down on him, but I procced the cheat amount before him. 1 second left on him. There isn't a big difference, according to me. I don't know what you think about that, but remember that he has way more stats than me. I need to continue working on my stats. I'm gonna explain to you what I am doing on my stats later. This guy has way more power. Yeah, this is Dino, I guess. He changed his name. Yeah, this is a monster. Look at that. 5 billion HP. The attack is insane. No need to check the build. No need to try against that player, right? Let's try to find another player with almost the same power. We have... this guy here, he has just a bit more than me, and that's a Beastmaster, right? Let's check the stats before. Crit resistance, I forgot to mention that before. I have 1,000%, 1,700. This guy has a bit more, 2,100%. Ignore crit only 7% in front, Ignore counter only 22% in front. The ignore combo is working normally, supposedly, on the pals. Evasion, he has a bit more than me, but I have way more ignore evasion, so it doesn't count. Counter damage res, he has 72%. So I think I'm losing against that player because of his high damage resistance for against the counter. What about the rest? Pierce resistance, yeah, he doesn't have a lot. Block, I have more block. Pal resistance, I don't have a lot. And pal damage res, I have 55%, right? So without further ado, let's check the battle. But normally, if I remember, I am losing here. Alright, we are both taking the same amount of damage. Second health bar. Oh, never mind. I won. I won the battle. That is interesting, guys. Cool. Maybe I changed something recently and the result was different. Alright, very nice. So let's refresh that a couple times. Let's try to find another player. We have a mage right here with the same amount of power as me. Let's check the stats. Normally that build that I am using is not working very well against them. I take a lot of damage coming from the skills and yeah, you are going to see what is happening. Ignore crit 14%. Double my crit resistance in front, 3,300, which is insane. Ignore counter, only 20%. What about the counter damage res? 60% almost in front. What about the pierce resistance? Okay, he's ignoring most of my pierce. What about the block? I'm ignoring his block. And damage res, I have a little more. Alright, so let's see how it goes. But I don't have the right build for that kind of fight. So let's see how it goes. They heal a lot, they tank a lot, and I take a lot of damage. Not on the first salve of skills, but on the second salve of skills. This is generally destroying me. And by the way, against DPS classes, I'm using the Tide Spirit. It helps me to tank a lot. But against mages, it doesn't give some extra ignore combo, ignore counter, so I'm using generally the other one, the Flame Spirit, which is better normally to deal some damage to them. That's a pretty weird build in front, by the way. He's really tanky and that's not... He's not taking any damage. He's not inflicting any damage neither. He probably switched his class. That's so weird. I don't know what is happening. This is not a mage. Yeah, victory. I need to try against someone else. There we are. We have Pili. She improved a lot. Her stats, her Plume Monarch. Let's check that, guys. I have a bit more HP. I have a lot more HP, yes. 500 billion more. A lot more attack, a lot more defense, but she is dealing insane damage. You are gonna see that, guys. Crit resistance, I have a bit more. I have a bit more crit damage. She has a lot of crit. Ignore crit, 26%. This is helping a lot. Ignore counter, 67%. This is pretty high as well. Ignore evasion. It doesn't matter here. What about the counter damage res? 62%. By the way, I have 40% combo damage res and I have a 79% ignore combo. So this is a bit of a kill for that kind of battle. Considering that I'm also using the Tide Spirit, this is insane. What about the rest? Pierce, she has a bit more. She has a bit more ignore Pierce as well. I got a bit more block, and I'm ignoring all her block. Damage res, I have 10% more. But if I remember, she deals a very high amount of damage. Let's check that. I took a lot of damage. I was expecting more from her because the last time I tried I had the other build, the Plume Monarch. Yeah, but my Warbringer is way above my Plume Monarch. I need to rework my Plume Monarch as well. So we have another one here. Woof Woof, that's another Beastmaster. Very high stats as well. Same power as me. I have a bit more HP, a bit more stats in fact, it seems like. Not a lot of ignore crit resistance at 2200%. He has a bit more than me, 500 more. Ignore counter, he has 52%. And that's pretty low. Need to work on that. What about the rest? But if I remember, I'm struggling against that player. I told you that the Beastmasters are killing me. Counter damage rest 77%. That's the reason why. That is the reason why. What about the rest? The Pierce, ignore Pierce. He's ignoring most of my Pierce. Maybe I need to change a pal to have a bit more Pierce. Because I changed my build recently, so I have less Pierce, I have more resistances, stuff like that. Let's try that in battle. Let's go! Yeah, look at the damage I am taking. This is insane. He's gonna win that. He's gonna win that. He won. He won. That is insane. So I need to continue working on my build to try to beat that player. And then you have Serio or the tanks, but I'm not gonna show that to you in this video, guys. I was trying only DPS classes in front. So if you want to know what I am using on my build, basically... this is it. On the gear, I'm using mostly Counter-Strike and crit rate. For the skills and pals, these are the ones I am using right now. Maybe I'm gonna replace this one to use the one increasing my Pierce in the future. We can try. You know what? We can try. Gonna retry against the same player and we are gonna see if it does any difference at all. Let's replace that right there. So now I have 1,500 more Pierce and I'm ignoring a bit more defense. Let's purchase one more ticket. Refresh the list until I find him. There we go again. No, you see that? The Pierce isn't making any difference at all. The result is exactly the same. I need to rework something else. So yeah, gonna replace that so at least I'm sure to have my Counter-Strike. Or maybe there is something more to use here. I don't know. I need to continue my tests. So for the rest, guys, these are the relics I use, right? Counter-Strike only, global counter only at the prayer statue. I'm gonna show you my talents a bit later. Same about these things. I have these items. I'm working on the back accessory right there. It is 3 stars. I'm purchasing the copies from the rush shop with the feathers I get in the events. It is 3 stars, close to 4 stars, and I do 5 stars. I need 4 more copies, I guess. It's gonna take forever, but once I will have the 5 stars, the effect is gonna be even better. So that's a very good focus, the best one we have in the game right now. So these are the items I use. The cheat amount and the chrono artifact. I changed recently my avian. Before I was using one giving some more Counter-Strike instead of natural burst, but I figured out that elaborating a bit my Counter-Strike and increasing my main stat with natural burst was better, in fact. So I decided to go for that. I suppose that the higher the level of your avian, the more the effect of natural burst and the more the stats you're getting on your account. So at one point it is better than a Counter-Strike, at least it was for me. So this is what I'm using: no speeding, natural burst, a reflect counter and rage bonus on the Luna Sprite, and the coefficient is maxed out 1.49. These are the cards, the hero cards I am using. The Lamb Thief as main, the flower, the purple flower as second to increase my crit rate in battle, so the ignore crit it compensates, it helps a lot, and Angel Gone in last position. The Tide Spirit then. So what about the rest? If I go to the Divining Path, this is what I have. Gonna show them to you one by one. Here I have some crit rate red, global HP. I need to rework this one. I don't care about the global HP. This is so fucking bad. For my build, gonna change that offline. Try to get some more crit rate or stuff like that. Here I have some combo one more time. I don't care about that. It's not helping me for my build. Have some crit rate there. For the world path here, I got some Pierce, ignore pal resistance, useless, ignore regen, useless. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I need to rework that. Is it the right one? Yes, it is. Ignore combo 8%, ignore counter 2%, sunblock and counter strike. Ignore combo 8%, another 4% ignore counter here. There I have 8% more ignore counter and some block, 2 red ones, 748, and some crits, ignore crit 3%. They're very nice one. Ignore combo gray, I'm taking that. And for the last one, global HP ignore counter as red and global attack as blue, very great. Ignore combo yellow 8%, ignore block 1000, this is a red one, ignore regen and ignore counter on the same, gray and green. Pierce green, ignore combo 11.52%. For the souls, I use these ones. 40 in crit resistance, 96, 98, 99 on the 98, sorry, on the attack, crit damage and counter soul, 65 on the HP soul. And I have the counter strike affix almost maxed out everywhere on every soul I can have. For the scrolls, this is what I use. Maxed out the attack at 200 in the attack scroll. 110 levels on the crit damage, 60 levels on the crit resistance, almost 60 levels on the HP one, and then the rest I don't care. What about the talents now? These are the feathers, 140 here in the attack, this is maxed out. I almost maxed out the HP as well, and then I will work on the defense. For the talents, I went on the Fury on the left as always. I took the node on the left, the node on the right. On the archery, I took the node on the left. On the sorcery, the node on the left. And then I decided to go and take every single node to increase my attack everywhere, my crit resistance everywhere I could, and my ignore counter. This is the ignore combo on the Fury tree on the left and on the right. And then the counter is on the sorcery tree, the ignore counter on the right and on the left on the same spots. I went for the counter strike and crit damage everywhere. Here on the archery on the left and on the fury on the right and the left, and then the resistance is at the top on the red tree. This is basically what I picked everywhere. Crit resistance there and some regeneration for the skills. And I'm never showing that in my videos, but you can see my text right there. This is the repartition. This is what I have right now. Right? So I think I showed everything in detail. Let me know what you're using in the comment below. Have a nice day, guys. Take care and see you in the next video. Bye bye.